possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready, the fighters are ready, the boxing world is ready. The fight starts now!
How do you like it? Close the show.
So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this. Press conference, live on DAZN.
Belfast raised him, but the world certainly tested him. From Olympic heartbreak to some of the biggest highs and the biggest lows in professional boxing. Michael Conlan has seen it all. Dreams shattered, world title opportunities delayed. But there's something about these Belfast boys, you can't keep them down for long.
The journey of a boxer can be a long and lonely road. Navigating twists, turns, rises and falls for the chance of a shot at gold.
Asked me to go back and change it and win the gold medal. Nah, keep what it's on.
But after years away, the hunger for a familiar place can bring a fighter's path back home.
To be a high-profile boxer in Belfast is a lot more special than most cities.
Standing upon the stage as the crowd sings grace, the pressure will mount on your foe. Under the lights as the bell rings fight, it resounds with an echo.
See, the best thing about coming to Ireland once is you can come again. We were in Dublin a few days ago. We're in Belfast today. Look at that. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Belfast at night. We're here for Mick Conlan versus Kevin Walsh. Remember, it is the press conference day, and they will be fighting for the WBC International Featherweight title. It is Misfits Pro, MF Pro, alongside DAZN, and we're looking forward to this one. With me in studio, a man knows so much about these parts of the world, former two-time world champion Carl Frampton. Carl, Dublin a few days ago. I know you've asked and lobbied for this, so we are in your home city of Belfast for this one. It's very special, isn't it? Mick Conlan is loved here, and I guess this is that chance now. He's on another journey, another chance to become a world champion, and it starts on Friday.
Yeah, it does start, but it could very easily end on Friday as well. This is the last chance saloon for Mick. He's open and honest enough to admit that himself. He has to win. He must win this fight.
What is it about Mick Conlan in terms of why he is loved so much? Is it what we saw at the Olympics? Everyone obviously getting behind him when he kind of did the middle finger to the Olympic judges. Is it because we like a rocky story, and there have been some highs, there's been some lows as well, but everyone seems to be really behind him?
Well, he's a character, isn't he? People like his character, but that whole Olympic story and the kind of controversy around it and the pictures we all seen at the end of him, you know, doing the fingers to the judges, that all adds to it a little bit. But I think people in this place, in this part of the world, they appreciate good fighters. And in my opinion, Mick Conlan is, if not one of the most skilled fighters, maybe the most skilled fighter ever to come out of the island of Ireland.
It's a big statement.
And that's a big statement, but he is, and it would be a travesty if he hangs the gloves up at the end of the day and isn't able to call himself a world champion. But a lot of times it takes more than that skill level. There has to be something else as well added to it. But Mick is well supported, and he always has been. But because he's a character and because he can fight.
You can fight as well. You've been to the arena that we're going to go to on Friday. This is one of your best nights. A few pounds, maybe a few kilos lighter there, Carl. But this was that night against Nonito Donaire. And, you know, I always thought like this performance has got so much better with age, because Nonito Donaire went on to do incredible things after this. Yeah. This must be one of your best nights.
I think so. Yeah, people kind of forget about this performance, but in terms of my wins, it's one of the best wins.
Yeah.
You know, you rightly said, Nonito went on and done a lot more after that defeat by me. He fought Inouye twice. The first fight, he gave him hell. I mean, he fought for a world title again last week. The guy's, I don't know how old Nonito is. He says he's 40 odd, but he
Yeah.
I think he's my dad's age. He's been around that long. But he was a legend of the game, and that was a huge moment for my career.
Let's go back to Mick Conlan. Obviously, 2023 was very difficult. Sat out 2024, came back in 2025 with a couple of big wins, and the most important one was the last one against Jack Bateson, where I almost felt like we know Mick the boxer. I think he showed us that he can punch as well, which is what he's going to need in order to get a world title in this division, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, there's some very good fighters in this division, very good champions around at the minute, but you need it all. You need the whole package. You need to be able to punch hard, you need to be able to take a good shot, you need to have the skill, which Mick has as well. So it's a combination of all these things, and if you put them together on the night, no doubt in my mind Mick can beat anybody.
What's at stake here? I mean, can we go as far as saying if he doesn't win on Friday, that's that? Or do we need to be careful of that because we have seen fighters take defeats and they somehow resurrect their career? Or is it just a case of he just needs to keep winning now because at his age and this stage of his career, a defeat now is so damaging?
Of course. I mean, he has to win. I can't kind of beat around the bush here. If Mick Conlan loses, it will be it's not good for his career. I think the career will be over. I think he's been open and honest enough as well to admit that himself. But in terms of where Mick wants to be, no disrespect to Kevin Walsh, who's a decent fighter and has a good record, Mick should be going through guys like this and going through them pretty comfortably. It's not even just about winning, it's how he wins as well. He has to win well. If he wins ugly and doesn't look good, maybe that might not be good enough for Mick himself. But I expect a good performance from him and him to show his class on the night and to win quite comfortably, hopefully. It's
a perfect segue onto his opponent, Kevin Walsh, who comes from America very confident, 19-0, 10 knockouts, and that's solid, isn't it? 19-0, 10 knockouts, it starts to put you into the conversation for these type of interim and international fights. And he's going to come with confidence knowing that he is unbeaten, and he'll look at the defeats that Michael Conlan has suffered, all by knockout, and he'll think he can get to him.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, he'll be taking great confidence. And look, the kid, he may not be the most recognisable name in world boxing, but this is the chance that he's been crying out for so long. So he wants to announce himself on the world stage here, and by beating Mick Conlan, he can potentially do that. And it gets him in line for a world title. That's the dream, isn't it, for every kid, to fight for a world title. So if he can pull an upset off against Mick, win a world title, a fight for a world title, that's kind of the dream scenario for him at this stage of his career.
Indeed it is. Obviously that's the main event. Let's remind you of what's coming your way on Friday. It's an intriguing fight card, a lot of prospects, some names that you'll know and recognise as well. Jack Corey takes on Jacob Quinn. We then go to Cody Smith versus Lee Gormy. This is a really good fight in the 168-pound division. Niall Brown versus Darren Johnson. This was supposed to happen in November. The rearranged one happens on Friday. Again, 168-pound division bubbling quite well. Troy Williamson, the king right now over here. Kieran Malloy versus Xavier Colin. Xavier Colin from the Netherlands. Kieran Malloy unbeaten as well. And then Michael Conlan versus Kevin Walsh for the WBC International Featherweight title. All right, enough from me and Carl for now. I can see everyone is ready on the stage. Let's throw it down to your MC for this one, Mr. Adam Smith.
Thanks very much, Addy, and a really warm welcome to the final press conference ahead of MF Pro's first show. And don't forget, the second is 17 sleeps away, and that's Chisora and Wilder, so we'll all be there for that one as well. It's a multi-event deal on the home of global boxing, DAZN. Just a few nights ago, we were in Dublin. What an atmosphere there, and what a city to kick off MF Pro's proceedings here in beautiful Belfast. The names, the annals, the likes of Rinty Monaghan, Freddie Gilroy, Dave Boy McCauley, Wayne McCulloch over in Vegas these days, of course, Carl Frampton, my excellent colleague up there. Just a wonderful fight city. And Friday night is the homecoming for the man to my right. He's a legend of these parts, of course. Michael Conlan, former star amateur, world, European, Commonwealth Games champion. He did it all, didn't he? 9 years a professional now, and still that elusive world title is out there, potentially for him. 20 wins in 23 with 10 knockouts. Promoter Callie Sowland alongside him, and believes that this could be the year that he finally does become crowned WBC champion. Bruce Carrington may lay a wait, but, and it's a big but,
First of all, on Friday, he's got to deal with this man to my left. Undefeated, unbeaten King Kevin Walsh, 19-0 with 10 knockouts. From the same neck of the woods as Rocky Marciano, Marvin Hagler. And I know he's got Irish roots as well, so he's not here alone. Kevin Walsh, sitting alongside one of the great characters and names in American boxing, Jimmy Birchfield. Great to have you with us. Alongside Jimmy, Xavier Conlan, who is in the chief support against the man to my far right, a guy I've been keeping a close eye on since he was a star amateur. Kieran Malloy, 4 years a professional. Is 2026 the breakthrough one for him? I'm going to start with the main guys first. Let's bring in the challenger for this international belt on Friday night. Kevin, welcome. Great to have you here. Unbeaten, but I guess untested at this level. What are we going to expect on Friday in your first venture away from home and your biggest night ever?
Man, expect fireworks. You know, expect fireworks. I could box, I could punch, I could move, I could stick. I love to dance, baby, so just expect a war for sure.
We've watched some of you already over the years. You love a fight, you've got great heart, you've got plenty of commitment. Do you think you have got the skills to deal with someone that Carl Frampton referred to as possibly the most talented fighter ever to come out of Northern Ireland?
Yes, absolutely. I know I do. Not really much to say. You know, I don't speak a lot. I do more of the talking with my fist. But I know what I'm in for. Michael Conlan's a beast, hell of a fighter. And, you know, I appreciate this opportunity, but it's definitely my time.
You say a hell of a fighter. Will he bring out the best in King Kevin?
Absolutely, absolutely. But there's only one way to find out, so stay tuned Friday night.
Mick, all eyes on you. I know you're busy doing crossword, Sudoku, that sort of thing.
Today.
Yeah, crossword today.
Crossword
today. Grant Smith, your trainer's out there. He said camp has gone.
He has been doing crosswords. That's why.
Does he?
It's technical for the brain and stuff. You know what I mean?
So it's mental and physical preparation.
Always.
34 now. You know this is crucial to your career. Friday night, first time back here for over a couple of years. Going to have a cracking crowd at the SSE on Friday night. You looked really good against Jack Baton last time. What do we expect this time around?
I think what I'm expecting from myself and what I think everybody else can expect is a masterclass performance. I'm going in there to put on a show and show that there is levels of boxing. I respect Kevin, everything he's came from, credit to him. But I'm here to push myself towards the world title, and I have to beat guys like Kevin. I want to be a world champion. I've had the undefeated guys before. I've had people coming in with confidence before, but it is what it is. It's boxing. Anything can happen in there, but I believe I'm going to go in there and put on a show.
Do you think this is last chance saloon, that if you don't win Friday night, it could be the end?
Every fight for me is last chance saloon, and I've been no stranger to saying that over the last year. Every fight is potentially my last fight. That's what I say. If I was to lose again, that's me calling it a day. People would think that's pressure, but to me, if I'm going to be honest, it lifts the pressure. It makes me enjoy the moment much more, because I believe a lot of my career probably didn't enjoy the moments like I should have. Some massive highs, some massive lows, yes, but the moments throughout the whole career, I've probably just looked over them to think about what's next. And yes, there's a carrot being dangled here, a bit of world title next, but that doesn't happen unless I beat Kevin Walsh, so don't worry about that. I'm focused on the job. I've put the work in training camp, and I'm going to shoot that.
It's lovely to see you calm and maybe more mature these days. 9 years ago in the garden with Conor McGregor, it was sort of lift-off time, wasn't it? And I'm going to be a three-weight champion of the world. And listen, boxing has twists and turns. It's a hard journey, and I guess the ultimate goal is to not let all that amateur talent go away and become a professional world champion.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, the only reason I'm back is to be a world champion. And if I can do that, fantastic. If I can't do it, then so be it. But believe me, I'm giving it my all, and I'm trying hard. and I'm living the life like I always have. But it's the only reason I've come back. I haven't come back for money. I haven't come back for anything else. I've done really well in boxing. You know, I've earned a lot of money in boxing, but the main thing for me is to be a world champion. That makes me, you know, want to do it even more. And as I say, it's the only reason I'm back.
Wonderful to hear his honesty, both of them actually. I'm going to bring promoter Kalle Sauerland in. You've got the man. He is box office. He is star quality. He is loved in these parts. Do you expect him to deliver, and then can you deliver the ultimate shot and prize for him?
Well, first of all, delighted to be here. It is the first show of MF Pro in this historic city, as you just said, Adam. So what a place to make our debut. You know, I grew up on boxing stories from my dad, who's in the Hall of Fame. He told me he promoted here in the 80s, and he told me about the atmosphere in the Ulster Hall. So
Barry McGuigan, wasn't it? Barry
it was Sean Shituli, Barry McGuigan. And I spoke to him this afternoon. He said, "Kalle, just enjoy Belfast." He said, "It's one hell of a fight city." And you know, 27 years ago, I started promoting. 27 years ago, Mick Conlan put on a pair of boxing gloves. So the stars are aligned. Extremely excited on many. For many reasons. I think this is what boxing is all about. You've got a man in Kevin Walsh, a proper gladiator who's fought his way through on smaller shows today. This is his moment to come out, right? This is his moment to come out. And we've got Mick Conlan, the man who, if you landed on planet Earth today and someone told you Mick Conlan wasn't a world champion up to now, you'd say they're crazy. Because that's just what it is. It's just madness that he hasn't been a world champion yet. But sport don't work that way. We know that. It's not just boxing. It's all sports. You know, you got it shoulda, coulda, woulda. And Friday night, live on DAZN, get your popcorn out, because this is what sport's all about. This is what it is. There's two storylines here. You know, of course, I'm Mick's promoter. I'm talking about Mick's storyline, but that man over there, he's got his own storyline, and Jimmy will talk about that in a minute. But that's what boxing's about. You know, that's what it is about, where you don't know what's going to go down Friday night. You know, Mick's going to put on a masterclass. That's our side of it. But tune in, because it really is all at stake. And yes, Adam. Yes, I'm 49 world champions deep. I can deliver, right? I can deliver. Mick will do the business Friday, and I'll deliver after that. Thank you very much. Yep,
we could have number 50. I love the chat about your dad, the history of this wonderful sport, and the history of this city of Belfast. It's fabulous. I just want to ask you quickly before I go to Jimmy about MF Pro. This is the first ever show. In just over a fortnight, we have the huge one at the O2 with Deontay and Derek. What are the plans going forward over the next 2 or 3 years to deliver? What sort of shows do you want?
Friday night, great example. April the 4th, an icon must fall. Chisora Wilder, more of the same. You know, we're probably gonna announce 2-3 shows next week. Also, but for the summer. So June, July, both sides of the Atlantic, hopefully, all being well, and very, very excited. You know, it's unfortunately not my first rodeo, but it feels like really, you know, it's a younger approach. You know, we've gone in with under the MF Sports umbrella, which was announced today, and you know, obviously Misfits is a household brand now, and it does what Misfits does, as Derek Chisora says, the circus, you know. But this is, you know, this is just traditional boxing, the beautiful sport of traditional boxing, and we're going to mix it up a little bit with some ideas from the circus world as such, but more on the promotional side of things, and yeah, just very, very excited to have another baby born.
MF Pro, yeah. I like Misfits too. Entertainment, Will Anderson winning the other night.
There will be a couple more sports this year.
Fantastic. More sports as well. He doesn't stop, does he, Kalle? Let's bring in another legend of this sport from the other side of the pond, from New England. he's a real character. I know a restaurateur and a man who's, I think you've been a boxer, a judge, and obviously promoting for many, many years. You're very, very sort of fabled in the sport, I guess, Jimmy. Great to have you in Belfast. I know you're very proud of your fighters as well. Talk about being here as a visitor, I guess, to a cracking boxing city, and your man to your right and his chances for Friday night.
Most certainly. First of all, it's an honor to be here. The Sutherland name means a lot, not only in boxing, but in life. We've been friends for a while. I've been friends with his dad, and this is what this business is all about. It seems so big, but it isn't. The DAZN, when you think of boxing right now, that's what you think of, the DAZN. They're putting the biggest and best boxing shows and events on. I am honored, in my heart, to bring this first event with MF Pro and be part of it. Michael, I've watched you several years. I've watched you in the amateurs. I've watched you in your pro, and it's unbelievable some of the things that you have accomplished, and I compliment you on it. This isn't an easy sport, but it's a sport that you got to be special. And Friday night, if anyone misses this fight, because honestly, I believe that it has all the ingredients of being one of the fights of the year. You have a veteran that has seen it all, has honored his country, has honored boxing, and he knows what this fight means Friday. Then I have my fighter, okay? My fighters become part of my family. They mean something to me, an awful lot. This young man, earlier in his life, had a very tough life, and he came out of it. And he knew that he wanted to do something. When we first started speaking, he said, I said, what do you want to do? Because if any fighter tells me anything less than I want to be a world champion, I'm not going to sign them. He told me what he wanted. I'm not going to have to worry Friday, tomorrow at the weigh-in, that he's not going to make weight, okay? Because he will make weight. You got to take him out of the gym because he doesn't stop training. And seriously, he's one of the most polished fighters, and I've represented thousands of athletes in my life. This kid is for real. Now, when we say this is another level, yeah. And Kelly, to see what you have done in the sport, and this is first class. A lot of people pretend to be promoters. You're looking at a promoter there that, back to his father's days, they know how to promote. And you can see this right here. So I'm wishing them nothing but the best in their promotion that they're going to do. But in all respect, and respect as far as I can give it, we're not coming here to pick up a pay. We're not coming here to be a B-side. We're not just going to go through the motions. Kevin, the King Walsh, is going to give it everything that God gave him in his body to go home back with the belt. And the WBC belt, Michael, that's a great belt, the international belt. That's the next in line is the World Championship. And this is big-time boxing. So I love the opportunity. We're happy to be here. The hospitality in Belfast has been amazing. The plane when I came here, actually, Kevin's got a lot of people coming here. There were green shirts all in the airport, on the plane, everywhere. And some people I didn't even realize. You forgot a couple of names in Brockton beside Marciano. You forgot Marvin Hagler, okay? You forgot Marvin Hagler. So it is the city of champions, and the King has promised his people that he's going to bring them another champion, and he's going to bring the green belt back to Brockton Saturday or Sunday, whenever he's going to leave. God bless you all, and thanks for the opportunity very much.
I think that's one of the greatest speeches I've heard from a visiting promoter. And I want to take your voice and bottle it and take it home. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. Marvellous Marvin Hagler, of course. Rocky Marciano. Can King Kevin do it on Friday night? I'm going to go down to the man at my end, though, because we have a cracking chief support. Kieran Molloy against Xavier Conlan. Xavier, you're also a visitor. Welcome from Holland. Tell us a little bit about your preparation, what you know about Kieran, and what we're going to expect Friday night.
Yes, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a big opportunity, a big fight for me. I think as well for Kieran as well. Yeah, and if such opportunity comes, you have to grab it with both hands and give it your all. So my preparation was very hard. I've done multiple rounds in sparring. This is a 10-round fight. I've done multiple 10-round fight. It's Kieran's first 10-round fight, so for him it's new. It's also new, of course, on a big stage. A lot of pressure on him, a lot of media. Everybody's asking questions to him, not me. So I'm quite relaxed, and yeah, just enjoying it. And hopefully I can give an ass whooping and don't get one. So that's what I'm looking for Friday.
IBF European welterweight belt on the line. I know you've won other titles in your career, 15 victories in your 18. What are you going to represent? What sort of problem to Kieran Molloy are you going to represent, and how much do you want this title? Because it's a huge opportunity for you.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, like I said, it's his first 10 rounds, so I want to make it physical. And I have to watch out because he's a big hitter, also on the body. But I want to make it physical, make it 10 rounds physical, and see who lasts, who is the last one standing.
Ready to go, aren't you?
Ready to go.
I love that. I love that. Kieran, down to you on the other side. This man from Galway, undefeated in 13 with 7 knockouts. I don't know if any of you saw him as an amateur, but he had over 200 fights and was one to watch. Always have been. Pro now, I think, for 4 years. I guess 2026 is going to be massive for you. What's happening Friday night, first off, against a very, very difficult challenger and a guy that's really up for it?
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's music to my ears when he wants to make it physical. I want to put on a great show for everybody. It's great to be back here in Belfast. You know, I've fought here a couple of times. So yeah, just thank you to MF Pro, Sauerland Brothers and Michael Conlan for bringing this big time boxing back to Belfast. It is my first professional title fight, so I'm going to grab this with both hands and show the difference in class.
The difference in class, you've had a steady rise, but it's breakthrough time, isn't it, this year and maybe next year? You should be sort of coming through Friday night, if you do, 2 or 3 more fights away possibly from that dream world title.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've got a busy sort of few months coming up. You know, I want to stay active this year, not take my eyes off this Friday night. I've got a very good opponent in Conlan. He's experienced. You know, he's had a lot more 10-round title fights than me. But, you know, the time is right for me. This is my breakthrough year.
And you remember him from the amateurs, don't you?
Yeah, I remember seeing him box as an amateur. I would have been a good bit younger, but I've watched everybody in the whole amateur scene, professional scene. I've studied boxing since I'm 5 years old, so not much gets past me.
Not much gets past you. What are his dangers on Friday night? What have you got to be careful of, and what have you got to do to negate that?
You know, he's quite tricky. You know, he's got a unusual style at times, but you know, I've prepared for all aspects of a fight in the New Era Boxing Gym under Charlie Beat. You know, I believe in his system, and I believe I become victorious on Friday.
By any means necessary, or is it got to be a statement live on DAZN on MF Pro's first event?
Look, I always go out there to make a statement. You know, I'm going in to finish this inside the distance for sure.
Caleb, before I go back to the guys for a last word, just a bit about the card. We've got Niall Brown, Darren Johnston, plenty of Belfast prospects, Jack Corrie, Cody Smith, Others I've seen today, it's a
brother always goes a bit wild on these cards. You know, I'm on the plane over and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that one was on.
This has lined it up.
It's a bit. Well, he always does, isn't it? You know, it's it's a long old night. But that's what you want in Belfast. You've got a lot of true boxing fans, and there's a bit of everything there. I'm really looking forward to see Niall Brown. I would say, how lovely is that to listen to these two young gladiators here? Obviously, this is my man on my right, but Xavier, you are a very well-spoken young man. You do boxing proud the way you talk, brother. Yeah, well done, mate.
Thank you.
Lovely to hear that, the way they speak about, openly, respect. I think that's amazing between them. He's clearly got a very good gym that he comes from, and you see that, how important that is later on in the career, Grant Smith sitting in the front row there, he's, for me, one of the best trainers in the world at the moment. And you really see a product of gyms. And I remember going to a boxing gym in my teens, and it was always people forget that the respect in boxing starts in the gym. It starts with a trainer, And I just thought that was a beautiful moment between the two of them, because they're going to war. They are going to war on Friday night, and to have that sort of camaraderie before it. People forget that it's boxing, but it's a sport as well. It's a beautiful moment there.
It is. There's huge respect up on this stage, on this dais. I think it's fantastic to see. Kevin, I'm going to bring you back in. Jimmy was mentioning about you've had a tough road. You've had difficulties. You've gone through really hard times. You've looked yourself in the mirror, I know, and boxing has been your saviour. You've worked many, many years for this moment. It's not just the 19-0. It's not just the unbeaten record. This is dedication beyond, isn't it, for this moment?
Yeah, absolutely. People ask me how long I've been training for this fight. It's more than 3 months. I've been training for this fight for years, years, preparing for this moment for years, and I just can't wait, man. I'm blessed to be here. I appreciate the opportunity, but it's my time, for sure.
And how good is it that boxing has kept you really on the straight and narrow and given you a life? I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it, for our sport?
Yeah, boxing changed my life. I didn't start boxing until I was 23 years old, and, some people would call that a late bloomer, but I've been fighting my whole life, trials, tribulations, and, just fighting adversity my whole life. So, it's really nothing new to me. I appreciate everybody coming out, and I appreciate the fact that they got me in there as the underdog, but I really love it. I love it.
Mick, you've and your brothers have had the gloves on since you were very, very young. But again, you work with youngsters now. It's incredible, even around Belfast, that what boxing can do. And you hear Kevin's story, and there's great respect, isn't there, for that?
Of course. Listen, I come from working class background. I could have fell down the wrong path many of times throughout my life, but boxing always kept me on the straight and narrow, and that's why it's such a great sport. It can turn people away from crime and save their lives. So, respect to Kevin, respect to every person who gets in the ring, whether you're a kid, whether you're an adult, whatever it is, whether you're in misfits or anything like that as well. There's big respect there for anyone. So yeah, it's been great. Friday night I put on a performance, I put on a masterclass and take Kevin to school.
Yep, that's it. We're going to twist it to the real business on Friday night now. You've had a couple of tilts at the world title. You want another one. You're talking about taking him to school, the masterclass. Is it the art of boxing that Grant and yourself will show Friday night?
The art of boxing, the art of war.
The art of boxing and the art of war. Do you feel you can stop him?
There's a possibility for everything in this fight.
10 knockouts apiece. What's your answer, Kevin, to that? I know you've got many inside the first couple of rounds, but it is a jump up. You're over here. You are the underdog, as you've said. Can you take him out?
Absolutely, I can, and I most likely will. But anything's possible. Anything can happen in that ring. I'm looking forward to fighting the best Michael Conlan there is. I'm prepared for war, sure.
And you said probably by knockout?
Absolutely.
And Mick, finally, I'll leave it to you. What does it mean to be back in Belfast, the homecoming?
We've got to stop saying the homecoming. I haven't been 100 homecomings, you know what I mean? So, it's great. It's great to be back in Belfast. It's always good to get back to the fans, not having to travel and doing a show close to home. So, know, it's always great. You know, I'm proud of it. I've been around Belfast boxing for a long time, especially watching Carl and stuff through it when I was growing up. It's been fantastic. They've always brought a great atmosphere. I expect more of the same on Friday night, and you know, there probably is always just going to be a probably, and that's all I'll say.
Grant Smith and you, Jack Bateson was a fantastic performance. Will it be more of the same as you prepare for a possible showdown with Bruce Carrington?
100%. Listen, since I went to Grant, I feel like I'm back learning boxing again. I feel like I'm learning every day and improving every day, and it's been great. You know, it's been a saviour for me in my career. I probably should have been there a long time ago, but right now at this stage, it's the perfect fit, the perfect man to have in my corner, and the perfect man to put my trust in, because he stays by his word, and you know, I just listen to him and follow the game plan.
Finally, it's a decade since Rio. You're 34 now. Are the legs? I know the attitude has changed a little bit over the years. You've mellowed, and over time, you've had a great career. Are the legs still there, and you're ready to go?
1,000,000%. You know, I've always lived a life. I've never been the party boy type guy to go out there and, you know, waste it all away partying. It's not me. You know, I've lived a life throughout my whole career. So, you know, even after boxing, I'll still continue to train. I'm not going to be one of them guys that put loads of weight on and come fat. So, I'm good.
It's wonderful to see you. What a great chat today up here. Fantastic. I think there's a few questions from some of the great Irish media out there. So let's take a few questions just to wrap things up.
A question for Kevin. Over the past couple of days, you would have heard Bruce Carrington's name an awful lot, and it's always been attached to Michael Conlan, a fighter that could be later on this year. Is it starting to frustrate you that it's always mentioned in regard to Mick Conlan and people may be overlooking you on Friday night?
I wouldn't call it frustration, no, but it's a part of the game. It is what it is. Michael Conlan's a big name. He's aiming for a big world title shot. I understand that, and I respect that, and so am I. So, you know, I expect him to talk like that. I expect him to, you know, kind of look ahead, you know, because he's been aiming for Shushu, and I'm not just aiming for Shushu. I'm looking for all the world champions in my weight class and anywhere near me, honestly.
Question for Michael. First of all, Michael, welcome home. And I just wanted to ask, is there a pressure, a different kind of a pressure that comes with fighting in Belfast? Obviously, you fought all over. You fought in Dublin last time. Is there something extra when you come back here?
The honest answer is no. You know, it's just near the arena, just near the venue, just near the ring. I've had umpteen fights, amateur, professional. It's just a fight, you know. I'm in the game long enough now to know that there's no point in worrying about anything else. Just get in the ring, do your job, leave the ring healthy. Happy days.
It's a question for Michael. You've spoken about the positive fighter and coach dynamic that you share with Grant Smith. Just how big of an impact has he made on your career, on this comeback, both from a professional and personal standpoint?
He's been massive. You know, he's revived my career, but also made me enjoy boxing again. You know, when I'm in the gym, it's really enjoyable. We connect as human beings as well. The guy, I've got the guy in the golf. Never thought he would be at it, but he loves it now. Cost him a fortune, of course, but you know, it's been great. You know, Grant is a good guy, and you know, it's the right place for me at this stage of my career.
Thank you, Al, Ush, and Rainbat are sponsoring the show, so thank you to them, MF Pro, SSE Arena. I've got to ask Mick before we go, have you succeeded in your...
I've done about 5 crosswords since we've been talking.
Oh, have you? Alexander Usyk does poems. I've seen George Groves doing the Rubik's Cube, but this is yours, yeah?
Yeah, crosswords. Usually a different game, usually we golf game, but today we do crosswords.
Okay. It's all good. They're all different, aren't they? Fantastic. So it's Conlan and Walsh on Friday night here in the beautiful city of Belfast. It's a massive weekend on the global home of boxing in DAZN. We're at the Copper Box on Saturday night for George Liddard. Also across the pond, a fantastic showdown as well. So it's boxing all the way through. MF Pro's second show, remember, do not forget that, 02. Fight number 50 for someone called Derek Chisora and someone called Deontay Wilder. What a night that's going to be. But it all kicks off here on Friday night. We're going to do some head-to-heads here, just in front. It's a phenomenal card. Few tickets left. Ticketmaster, SSE on Friday night. Belfast expects. Boys, thank you very much, and thank you for some great words and real respect. Excellent.
Yeah, a lot of respect between the fighters, Carl. I still can't get over Jimmy Birchfield. He reminds me of a character in one of the Soprano episodes. But great to have Jimmy
Great
Birchfield.
storyteller too, wasn't
a
he?
fantastic storyteller. Has been in the game for such a long time, as is Michael Conlan. Obviously, look, big opportunity, Michael Conlan. Shushu is the WBC featherweight champion. He wins this, there is a chance that they get the Shushu Carrington fight on, but he does need to get through the unbeaten Kevin Walsh, who looked and sounded confident, didn't he?
Yeah, they did. He sounded really confident. He wasn't brash or arrogant. Neither was Mick, to be honest. But both guys, I think, are filled with confidence. I think that Walsh understands the position that he's in, that he is a heavy underdog, but he just wants to show people I can actually fight. I think that's what he wants to do. Really interesting. I just realised that he only started boxing when he was 23.
Yeah, which is
very, very late. Yeah. And I mean, I'm thinking of a question to ask Mick Conlan, but considering how long he's been in the game, should someone with that little experience be getting close to him? I would suggest not.
Does it? I was thinking about this because obviously, look, heavyweights is different. Fabio Wardi is one that springs to mind. You know, when you're fighting someone that doesn't have that experience, when you're used to fighting fighters that have started when you've started, do they bring different elements, different surprises because they're a bit awkward?
Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of an unorthodox element to their game. You'd hear, you know, established boxers talking about how difficult it is sometimes to spar complete novices because they're throwing things and doing things that you've never seen before or you're not expecting. So there may be a little bit of that. I wouldn't say that about Kevin. You know, I've watched a little bits of him. He's good balance. He punches reasonably hard. He seems to be fit as well. So what I will say is he doesn't look like someone that only started boxing at 23.
Indeed he doesn't. And that's the one. That's the main event for Friday. Remember, live on DAZN. So many big fights coming on DAZN as well. And when I say big, I mean super big. So it's the perfect time to sign up to Ultimate Pro.
The first rule of DAZN Ultimate is the first rule.
You do not pay-per-view.
You do not.
You do not pay-per-view. Do not pay-per-view.
The Ultimate Fight Night is here!
Second rule of DAZN Ultimate. Second rule, you don't pay-per-view.
Because Ultimate gives you a minimum of 12 pay-per-view fights a year at no extra cost. You do not pay per view. Join us ringside and welcome to DAZN Ultimate.
Yeah, make sure you don't miss DAZN's new Ultimate plan. It is the best value for fight fans all over the world who want the best in boxing on their terms. Just join Ultimate and get a minimum of 12 pay-per-view events every year, included at no extra cost. It is undisputed value, and here is what's coming up with that.
The Locker Room, the new home of DAZN's boxing content. All your big hitters, all in one place.
I am not going to stop until I am pulled off of this guy.
Daniel, don't disrespect you. Daniel, don't disrespect you. I personally think you're a bit of a don't really like you.
Welcome on board the rivalry line.
I do not want to be average. I fear being average.
More exclusive content than ever before.
You look at that blood, you remember what's coming.
Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Keller.
Where boxing lives, breathes, and never stops.
I never thought being with Matchroom I'd be doing stuff like that.
Weekly content from all your favourite creators, promoters, and influencers. The Locker Room, only on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
There you go, that one coming up on Friday. Michael Conlan versus a man that I think is going to cause a few surprises. Very, very confident is young Kevin Walsh. And look who's joined us in the studio, Michael Conlan. Michael, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Very good.
Very excited?
Very excited.
I always wonder with fighters, you know, it's fight camp, it's fight camp, it's fight camp. And I've spoken to Carl about this. It's like, let's just get the fight on. Enough of the talking, enough of the crosswords. Let's just get the fight on Friday night.
Yeah, that's what it always is, you know. We've done this so many times, you know, you just want to fight now, and you know, now I got to go and make weight, so it's never the most enjoyable part, but Yeah, it's part of the game.
People have this impression of you, Mick, and it's been, I'll not say who said it, but it's been said in here tonight. People are surprised at how big you are.
I did say it.
Yeah, it was Ali. So I always tell Mick's a giant. I have no idea how you done super bantamweight, but even still featherweight, like you really have to squeeze right down to get there, don't you?
You know what? The last few times I've made it has actually been the easiest I've made it.
Really?
But I am big.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I seen that guy's box rec first, and it says he was 5'7". I was like, his upper body looks too big to be 5'7". He couldn't be. I've never seen him there now. Fuck, you look small. I thought you were bigger.
It's funny you said that, because I thought he was bigger as well. And then when I saw you guys do the face-to-face, I was like, oh, actually, Mick's bigger than him. 2024, the whole year out, you came back in 2025 and you ended it really well. Fantastic performance against Jack Bateson. Was 2024 almost a case of you just having to press that reset button because of how difficult the year before was?
Yeah, listen, I went away in 2024. I didn't say anything after my last defeat, and I was contemplating retirement.
Really?
And I ended up running the marathon, and in that training for a marathon, I decided, no, I have still goals to achieve, which is to become a world champion, and I really want to do that. It's the only reason I'm back. It ain't about a financial kind of situation or anything like that. I want to be a world champion. I've just trained for a marathon. I've done, I think, 900 miles of training, and I'm going, I ain't getting paid to do this either. So if I have the drive to do this, I have the drive to become a world champion, and that's why I done it.
Do you think the year out's helped you, Mick?
Massively. Massively, everything. Like, the freshness and everything came back. The first fight was literally, I forgot how to box being out of the ring. I stayed out of a boxing gym for a full year. And then when I came back to the boxing gym and I started sparring, I was like, I forgot how to box. So the first fight was terrible, for me anyway. Now I won comfortably, but I was going, wow. Towards the end of that training camp, it started to flow again. And I was like, no, it's still there, it's still there. And then obviously the following training camp for the last fight was perfect. This fight camp has been even better, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and the performance last time out against a very good Jack Bateson as well, I think you have to say was perfect. Grant Smith now part of the team, and Grant Smith slowly but surely building a fantastic stable as well. Obviously Dalton being the world champion in that stable. What's it been like with Grant? Is it a case of just righting the wrongs, or is it just adding to what you've already got?
It's tweaking the mistakes, not changing, like not trying to change him as a fighter. He's tweaking the mistakes, which I knew I made, because when I did say that I was changing coach, I went and tried 3 coaches, and the only one who really pulled me on the mistakes, which I know I make and I get away with the majority of the time, but times you don't, and that's when it costs you. He was the one who was pulling the mistakes, and I was going, yes, I know I make them. I think that's good, that's good, that's good. And that's what says, no, I'm going to go to Grant.
How difficult is it to make that decision to say, okay, look, I'm leaving my trainer? Because I guess that's a hard conversation to have with your previous trainers. How difficult is that?
It was hard when I left Adam, but when my final fight, my last fight when I lost was against Jordan Gill. It was with Pedro Diaz, and it was my first fight with Pedro, so it was like a one and done kind of thing. There wasn't really much attachment there, and we were only together for 6 weeks for that training camp as well, so that one wasn't really the thing. But when I left Adam, it was quite tough.
Final one, we were in Dublin on the weekend. I don't know if you watched the event.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. 2 guys in the main event, and we're speaking about this. 2 guys that I think have shown their best work, maybe where age don't show your best, right? They normally say athletes are in their peak in their 20s. Does that give you confidence when you see Jazza doing it at 34, 35, Anto doing it at 37, knowing that there still is a lot left?
100%. Listen, when Anto first won the world title, that gave me a boost. I'm like, Jesus, fair play to him. I can still do this. I ain't no spring chicken, I get it, but I ain't done.
Yeah.
And it's still there to achieve. I do truly believe I can't do that. You know, it's the only reason I'm back. If I didn't truly believe it, I wouldn't be back. Because it's too hard of a sport. They've messed about it.
And I think we all believe that you can do it as well. Good luck on Friday.
All the best, Mac.
Big fight on Friday. Big fights coming up as well. Remember, it is heavyweight season. And look at this in terms of a lineup. This one, Magnificent 7, Italma versus Frank, and the rearranged one takes place Saturday, March 28th. You don't have to wait long. And this one, MF Pro's first real massive one. It is a big one, isn't it? Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder at 50 and 50. Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois, current champion against former champion, I think #1 versus #2 in any order you want to put it in the country. And then the man that rules the roost in the heavyweight division, Alexander Usyk, will defend his WBC heavyweight title against kickboxing sensation Rico Verhoeven. That one in Egypt, May 23rd. Busy schedule. And this man with us is part of that busy schedule as well. Calla, you must be excited for what you've got as well. Michael Conlan coming back to Ireland. You got the green tie on. I see what you're doing here.
You know, well, I see what you're doing.
There you go.
He's got the badge and the shoes.
The whole lot.
Yeah. No, listen, it's you know, Mick Conlan actually. Sound like a bit of a fanboy here, but I remember him doing that thing at the Olympics, the salute. And I thought, he's cool, man. I need to promote him one day. And here we are in Belfast. So yeah, look, it'll be my first show in Belfast, MF Pro's first ever show. And I guess I've got the perfect guide next to me. I was on the phone to my old man today. Like I said before, he was talking about the 80s when he promoted here with
Boy and all them, Barry McGuigan and everyone else.
He just said that was the atmosphere in that house.
I was going to ask, why have you never came here before? In my opinion, in terms of Europe, it's a massive city.
Yeah, well, we came here for, I did Brian McGee, but that was over in Denmark, so we came here for a press conference. That was the closest I've been. I don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like also when we went down to Dublin, it was also like there's so much talent, and do you know what? Mainland Britain is it's a bit sport for boxing. Yeah. It is everywhere. Yeah. Whereas go across the water, and it's a different picture, and there's like the sporting following. You know, whether it's the north of the country, south, it's a huge following, you know, and it's a bit untapped, really, isn't it? I mean, you saw, obviously Frank had a great show in Dublin last weekend. We've been here end of last year. I've been here with Misfits, in Dublin with Misfits as well, was as an atmosphere was phenomenal. So it's like, you know, there's, you know, I love watching Kieran Malloy. I love the amateurs. There's some great fights on the card. It's going to be a long old night, huh?
It will be a long night, but it'll be a good one as well. I want to move away from Friday very quickly just because of what's behind us. I want to look behind.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a special card.
I just saw a picture of Derek and I thought, crikey, he's here.
Probably is. Derek's everywhere.
Never rule it out.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gets on a plane and comes over, but that's an incredible...
Very clever. It's very clever what you've done on me there. I didn't see that coming, yeah.
I almost feel like Friday is the starter and that's the main course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally different.
Yeah.
Because, you know, heavyweight is heavyweight, and I mean, I'll just finish on mixed. For me, Friday night it really is. I know we talk about this do or die in sports very often.
It has to win.
But it has to win. It's as simple as that. I was looking at it before from Walsh's perspective. He's come through, you know, we hear these prison stories, the box with the Bibles in the prison cells, great stories, but this is his chance as well. So it's like both of them have got these different storylines, so very, very excited about that. But going on to April 4th.
Yes, sir.
I've got one question for both of you. Go on. Probably more for you from a psychology point of view of Fight Week. Will we see love and peace in Fight Week? It's done.
Derek's always got something up his sleeve, doesn't he? He's going to do something mad.
The madness is happening every day behind the scenes right now with us. I don't know, every day there's something different. But after a fight camp, so you have all that, you know, roll around New York, then London, press tour, you know, kicked off a bit with Simon Jordan, I know, but really it was
friendly.
Me and Frank said off. It was like a family barbecue.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be like a candle and dinner on the table.
I don't think it's going to be something will happen in the build-up to this fight.
I think there's something. I just don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be something standard. It's going to be something coming out.
Chisora's going to do something.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the best
I don't
seller
think he knows
of
himself.
No, he'll make it up as he goes along, but it will be fascinating and it will be good.
But you just used the word sell, right? So, but the thing is, having worked with Derek in different countries, different situations, you can't predict, and I think that's the whole appeal.
I think that's the love of him. I mean, me and Derek were speaking about
war paint.
Yeah, double digits defeat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lost 13 times.
People like that don't get supported.
No way, absolutely
not. Apart
from Derek. But
also, Derek is the only heavyweight I can think of in recent years whose career has actually, in the last section of it, it's got better.
Yeah.
You know,
it's got better.
Heavyweight history,
it really has.
I think that's pretty unique as well.
It is, and that's why we love him. And this is going to add to that flavour as well. This is the promo for Wilder versus Chisora. Body slows. That youth belongs to the bold. And that time is undefeated. And perhaps it is, but time has never understood pride. These are not young men chasing promise. These are men that have tasted consequence. One carries a right hand that can end the night in a heartbeat. And when that bell rings, who will remain standing? On April 4th, two heavyweights will meet, not as champions, not as prospects, but as warriors. Chisora, Wilder, an icon will fall. There you go, not long to go for that one. Remember that one, April 4th. This one, a lot sooner, March 20th. So that's Friday. Conlan versus Walsh. Obviously, look, we had Conlan here with us. You know what I like? There's just one mission now, and that's to become world champion. Yeah. And he will do everything in his power to become world champion.
They're all on board with that, Calla. I think Grant Smith and Mick knows that he has to win. No two ways about it. He has to win this fight. If he doesn't, career's over. So there's jeopardy on the line, but also for Kevin Walsh, because he's got the big opportunity. So he wants to win. He feels like he has to win as well to announce himself onto the world stage. So a lot of jeopardy about this fight in terms of the stories of both guys, which always adds a little bit something extra.
Final one, how much pressure is there on, I mean, look, some fighters thrive with pressure, right? Just athletes in general, some it consumes them. How much pressure on him? Because everyone's saying you have to win one, you have to win one. I think you even said that he's the best boxer we've maybe ever seen from these shores. It's a lot of pressure still.
Yeah, and people, I think Mick's putting a lot of the pressure on himself as well, but people can rise to that pressure. I mean, I think about my own career. I was always in pressurized situations where almost to the point where people just expect you to win fights and forget about the opponent. And Mick's probably in the same situation here, but the difference between me and him is if Mick loses, that's it. It's done. And it will be very, very difficult. I mean, even if Mick loses to someone like Kevin Walsh, it's going to be hard for him to deal with that. It'll take a number of years, me knowing Mick personally, for him to get over that. So that's the last thing he wants. But I have a feeling that Mick can cope with the pressure, and under the pressure, he actually performs at his best.
Okay, there you go. Press conference done, weigh-ins, and then fight night tonight. Tomorrow, apologies, we make it official with the weigh-ins. We saw Mick looked a bit tight at the weigh-ins, but I'm sure he's going to make the featherweight limit. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the weigh-ins. I think things will get a bit more heated tomorrow.
The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready. The fight starts now.
How do you like it? So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. Press conference live on DAZN.
Fight night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
What's he got saying? Turn around. I'll join them.
One time, stray dog.
You've got the instinct. Now, get the training.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr.